Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app, O'Connor and Company.
8:37, O'Connor and Company on this 23rd day of June. Thanks for joining us. Coming up 30 minutes, we hand it over to Chris Plant. But in the meantime, much to discuss here on O'Connor and Company with Julie Gunlock. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
It's the chairman of the RNC, Michael Whatley, and he's got to have a spring in his step here, considering the reports about the DNC. I mean, I'll be honest, Chairman Whatley, I know you're doing a good job, but it doesn't hurt when your opponents are disintegrating before your very eyes.
No, but at the end of the day, they'll have enough money to get through this campaign because the Democrats always have a ton of money, and they're sorting out what happened with, the last election cycle. The thing that amazes me is that right now they absolutely believe that they had the right agenda in 2024, and they have refused to learn any lessons from the last election cycle and are doubling down on that same failed agenda every day. The American people are not buying it, and that's a lot of the reason they're in the shape that they are.
Yeah, it does seem to be a constant refrain that, they had the right candidate, they had the right message, they just had a short time frame and they're having trouble getting their message out. But it seems like on the issues, they're upside down compared to where the American people are and where the Republicans are.
On every single issue, whether it is deporting violent, criminal, illegal aliens, extending the Trump tax cuts, keeping boys out of girls' sports and men out of women's locker rooms, these are 80-20 issues, and the Democrats are on the wrong side of every single one of them.
Michael, it also appears now that they're going to pursue impeachment because of this incredibly successful strike against Iran, which polling also shows people are pretty supportive of not having a nuclearized Iran. This is going to sink them even more, correct?
Yeah, look, the Democrat playbook is pretty simple. We saw it coming out of the 2018 election cycles: investigations, hoaxes, and impeachment. And they've already said that's exactly what they're going to do. We've already had impeachment articles filed in the House by the Democrats this year, basically fill in the offense later. We just want to impeach President Trump. When you look at the attacks on Iran, the president was very, very clear. We're not going to allow Iran to develop and deploy nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
They're not, right? And that is to keep Americans safe, to keep Israel safe, to keep Europe safe, to keep the whole world safe. And ultimately, if the Democrats feel that the world is better with Iran having nuclear weapons, they need to have their heads examined.
Lest we sound like we're using pom-poms here and cheerleading the RNC without any criticism, Chairman Whatley, let's face it, one thing that can help the party and help them with momentum going into next year's midterms is a big victory in Virginia this November. The New York Times, Washington Post, they're already talking about Abigail Spanberger as the de facto governor and potentially a running mate in 2028 for the Democrat candidate. So what is the RNC's commitment to ensure that Abigail Spanberger does not become the governor of Virginia? What are you guys ready to do?
Yeah, we do not want to see a rubber stamp for the Democratic agenda as the governor in Virginia. She has voted for boys in girls' sports and men and women's locker rooms. She has voted against the Trump tax cuts getting extended, and she has made sure on every single vote that she is against President Trump reflexively on every one of these 80-20 issues. For us to win in this race, it's going to take three things. Number one, you got to have a great candidate, run a great race. We've got a nominee in Winsome Sears who's absolutely capable of that. You need to get out the vote, and you need to protect the ballot. What the RNC does is we help get out the vote, and we are going to run the election integrity program as we have done in each of the last three elections in Virginia. Glenn Youngkin showed us the way. Glenn Youngkin showed how to win in Virginia as a Republican, which is really, truly understand the issues that the voters care about and put solutions on the table and get away from pure partisan voting, which is what we saw, with Abigail Spanberger over the last several years.
Chairman Whatley, we are on a tight schedule today because of the news events of the weekend, as you can well imagine. We'd love to have you back soon to talk more about the upcoming Virginia race and other issues facing the Republican Party. Thank you so much for today, though.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Have a great week.
You bet. That's Chairman of the RNC, Michael Whatley. It's now 8:42.